I get involuntary scrubbers from this person.
Bro, you know, I thought about that too. Like it wasn't really registering what you were talking about. Then I kind of started scratching myself, and I was like, "Damn, that was
Thank you. You messing up his
all day, bro.
Thank you very much.
All day, bro.
Appreciate it.
I'm CantonJones, aka CJ. That's what they call me.
Mona Estelle.
I'm Love Jones. Hello, Jasmine.
voice of God, GC, is that right?
Yeah. Well, you can't be the voice of God if you on the show. You on the voice because the voice of God is a voice. It's a voice that they don't see.
Well, I'm GC today.
Yeah, you GC today. You're Kevin.
Kevin today.
Hey. What's the bell at, bro?
Hey.
No, don't add to this. No.
We got a Love Jones in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my firstborn. My only girl. Where the drum at, bro? Oh.
The song is over.
Okay. Yeah.
If y'all want me to come play snare at y'all church,
Or if you don't,
just holler at my wife, she'll book me.
yeah, I won't book him. No.
My honorarium for playing this at your church is $5,000.
Wow.
That's my
right.
honorarium
That's your
for the band.
Yes, just the
No
Lord.
honor in that, brother. No.
This is a unique instrument.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
plays. I'm the only one on the planet.
Yeah,
You can't get this
Thank
nowhere.
God.
he's on the book
Praise
and
the
bell
Lord.
tour.
Yeah, the book.
He's on the book and bell tour.
Nobody plays the bell.
Yeah.
The Sunday school bell. Nobody plays this.
Amen.
I'm the only one.
Yeah,
so
I'm
if you
only
need
playing snare. That's it.
it- Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys for joining us
It's
in
extra
the
if you
booth
want the
today.
boots.
Please like, share, and subscribe to the show on Facebook, YouTube, and all podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you want the snare and bell tour, just hit up. And you want to sponsor the tour or advertise for the tour, just hit us up on In the Booth pod P-O-D at gmail.com.
So how we join
And
the band, man?
there have been people that have been sending stars. Please,
All right.
thank you so much. Keep that coming. Send your stars. We'll use that. Whatever you want to see on the show. Improve. If you want me to get a new snare, some new
Or
boots.
just to get rid of it.
You want to sponsor
I'm not getting
some?
rid of the bell, so,
So how we join the band?
don't even request that.
You know what I mean? I want to get into
You want to get in on the band?
it. You know, like I get a glass of water and
We'll
then do
get-
the
yeah,
thing with it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get you in the band next show. We're gonna get you in the band next show. We need to get y'all in the band.
I don't want to be in the band. How about that?
Mona, you already in. You singing.
Come on.
Yeah,
you're
the lead
singing.
singer.
You got to sing.
I'm the lead singer of this tour.
Jazz Head is our bass drum. That was just flat. I don't think your head big. It's just.
Right.
It's just.
Right. It's okay.
I don't really think I head
She's
big.
not feeling you today. She's not feeling y'all today. What are we talking about? Please. What is the topic today? Please. Can we please move on?
Yeah. And
Jazz, I don't
also,
think your head
people
big.
have asked, hey, to subscribe to the show on the podcast platform is free. It's not a paid subscription. People keep asking, how much is this? It's free. Just go on there and like or hit subscribe, hit the plus button, whichever platform you on, and you can subscribe to the show.
Yeah, where are you
And
going to
then
get
that
all of
way-
this for free?
Yeah.
Nowhere else.
That way you can get the notification when the show drops. And
Yeah.
you'll never miss a show.
No.
And you'll see when we late all the time.
Yeah.
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 We love y'all.
Yeah.
Who we talking about today?
If you're at work, keep your mind right. Don't get too hyped, get crazy.
Don't slap nobody today.
You know what I'm saying? Have a great day. Smile at
Hump day.
everybody.
Yeah, right, hump day.
Today's gonna be a great day, amen. Whoosh.
Yeah.
You gonna be all right.
Woosha.
All right. Just felt led to say that to somebody.
Yeah.
Get
Spirit
yeah,
led him.
Yeah.
They
Just
say
Make sure
woosha.
chill,
Have fun.
chill out. It's gonna be a great day.
Yay.
All right.
All right, we talking about a hot cow summer.
Boy.
A hot cow summer.
Yep. Last year was the hot girl summer. It's hot cow summer this
All
year.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
Hot Kelso. Okay.
So heat and humidity,
He picked these topics.
killed at least 2,000 Kansas cattle. The state says the deaths add pain to the U.S. cattle industry as producers have reduced herds due to drought and grappled with feed cost. that climbed as Russia's invasion of Ukraine tightened global grain supplies. You know, they need grain, and Russia and Ukraine are heavy grain distributors, so that's what's called the strain. Drew Lerner, president of World Weather Inc., says it's going to be oppressively hot and stressful for animals. All the while, the head of the United Nations has warned the world faces catastrophe because of the growing shortage of food around the globe. So all this is going on, and if you pay attention, the decrees are causing things to happen at a faster rate. So is the decree affecting the circumstance the world is facing? Because if you see something coming and you decree it, it's almost like they sped it up. You see cows dying. That was not part of any part of the shortage, but that was just through heat. They didn't see that coming. So they're speaking things, and things are happening the same way when we speak things or get something, it happens when we speak it. So if the world keeps saying shortage, 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 the shortage is moving at a faster rate.
Right.
And how are we, in this climate, in this so-called catastrophe that heaven never declared? Heaven never declared a catastrophe. Heaven never declares a shortage. As kingdom citizens, where should our words be landing?
Definitely, we should speak life. I make that decree that there's no shortage, no lack in our family or anybody around me. It doesn't matter what happens. 1,000 may fall at that side, 10,000 at that right hand. It will not come near me. So my decree is always consistent with kingdom and with dominion. Heat and humidity. When it comes to animals, the animals live in the heat. So that makes no sense what they're saying based on.
It's been 100 degrees before.
Right, yeah. It's been more than that. Yeah. And so animals are not dying because of the heat. They're dying because of the decrees. Yeah. Or they're dying because of some planned agenda. Maybe somebody gave them something, maybe malnourished, maybe they were poisoned, maybe something, you know what I'm saying, something else happened. But you can't blame it on the heat, you know, because they've always been outside. You know,
and there are no other animals that are dying. It's only cows. Why is it only cows?
Right,
dying?
and then they want to blame it on Russia.
It's the animals that are part of the food.
Yeah, it's a blame. So. It's the blame game. But some of these people are doing blame games so that they can heighten prices. Because when you talk shortage, you heighten prices. You can heighten with the gas thing. They're blaming it on the war, you know, and now you can raise the price of gas. Mm-hmm. And so
just like during the pandemic, we all of a sudden had all this tissue that we had to buy.
Right.
Like tissue out of all the things that everybody was fighting over.
Tissue.
Why would it be that? So
a lot of times, and then people out of fear respond because they don't understand the authority. Yeah. They don't understand who they are. So I make a decree. You know, you're going to make a decree. I didn't make a decree that there is no shortage.
That's what my thing is they're decreeing this. Now, this is the leaders of the World Weather Inc., and they're putting out a decree, and then they're getting the people to come into agreement to say a shortage is coming. I was having a conversation with somebody who's a believer, and they said, man, I'm getting ready for this shortage, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this. I'm stocking up. I'm like, okay, you sound like them.
Yeah.
Your words sound like their words, and what's happening is your words are creating an arrangement for you to have shortage.
Right.
So the same thing when the pandemic showed up.
Right.
Our words didn't adjust with the pandemic and what they said, and if your words stay outside of that or inside of dominion by faith, you can stay outside of a pandemic. This is why Jesus never spoke sickness.
Right.
He saw sickness, he sees sickness, but he never lets the sickness come out of his mouth.
Right.
And that's how you can stay in the realm of dominion. So when it comes to, if they're saying a shortage is coming, you don't say a shortage is coming.
Right.
If they say this is happening, you say the opposite because heaven is not decreeing a shortage.
Right.
So if heaven is not decreeing a shortage, then you don't have to agree with that. And what happens is your words can make the arrangement for the food always be where you at.
Right.
Yeah.
Meaning when you show up to the grocery store, the truck gonna be there.
Right.
And you're going to beat the rush, or things are arranged by your words. And the same thing with this, it's like, it seems like the more people say, oh, there's a shortage coming, stuff happened. Oh, cows mysteriously died, or
Right.
this, that, and that. And I feel like cows wouldn't even die if you wouldn't even say it, it's going to be a shortage. Because watch this. What happened to COVID? Like, it's just dying down. Why? Because we ain't talking about it all the time.
Right.
Exactly.
When we was talking about it every day, it just kept spiking. It just keeps spiking. It keeps spiking. Like, okay, you're giving it life. You're giving it life. You're giving it life. The moment you kind of find something else to talk about, and then COVID, all the numbers just start going
Exactly.
down.
Yep.
The deaths go down. The cases go down.
Yep.
The effectiveness go down. And it's like, when are we going to understand that our words are
Have the power,
arranging
yeah.
and giving power
Yep.
in life to all this? So if they're decreeing there's a shortage, don't let your words follow their words. Speak the
Facts.
oracles of God.
Until
He shall supply what?
All
my
It
needs.
doesn't say when the shortage comes up,
Right.
his supply is going to stop. So therefore, wouldn't be this week.
Who was it? Man, who long was that?
Somebody calling you, Mona.
I know.
Okay.
No, but to your point, during COVID, nobody was talking about cancer.
Right.
And the cancer, like, nobody was even paying attention to those numbers.
Right.
When, and so now they're getting back to talking about it, but they weren't talking about it before. And so everything was COVID. Nobody was talking about cancer. Nobody's talking about AIDS and HIV like that.
Right.
And so you're right. Like, as we talk about it, it spikes. You're giving life to it with your voice. So
Life.
that's why, like, it doesn't matter. We're going to always have what we need.
Right.
That right.
I kind of haven't been eating beef like that anyway.
Yeah.
I'm changing my entire diet because I have a different expectation right now for my body and what God wants me to do. So I'm switching everything around. My food is different. I'm eating salads and soups and kind of staying away from the beef. Not that I don't eat beef, but I don't eat it like I used to. I don't eat fried chicken, fried food like I used to. And everything about me is changing because of my expectation of what God wants me to do with my life and body. Yeah. And so,
even if it's not beef, it ain't gonna be no lettuce shortage in my life. It ain't got nothing to do with the beef.
It won't be no shortage.
Yeah, it won't.
Whatever
it won't be,
I desire, it won't be no Snickers shortage.
That's very specific.
It won't be a Snickers shortage. Or a small Twix shortage.
She need that look at me in her life.
Or a Twizzler shortage.
Or whatever, won't be no shortage.
Right.
And so I think sometimes people gear up for fear. The Bible says the prayers of the righteous availeth much, which means if you are righteous and you pray, those avail more than those who are unrighteous and make decrees. But if we don't make those decrees, then the unrighteous, what they say prevails. So if they say it's going to be a shortage and we don't say anything or we agree, then that shortage. But if we say, no shortage, or it won't come near me, or what, so I don't care what they're declaring. If we have to say something as people of the light, as kingdom people, we have to say something to stop certain things in the spirit realm. And so most of the times we take it and we agree with it and we say what they're saying, and then the thing happens. There's some things that happen that we decree on this show that changed. That we decree on this show, we agreed, and it changed rules, it changed laws, it changed certain things. So I treat this no different. There will be no shortage when it comes to our families and our neighborhood.
And we got to do this is don't come out the prayer and then say the opposite of what you said in the prayer, because that's what happens a lot. People say, oh, well, I prayed and this happened. You get out the prayer and then you speak outside of the prayer against the prayer, and as the book of Proverbs says, you're snared by the words of your own mouth.
Right.
It's you that are, you know what I'm saying, dismantling the prayer.
And it's so cool to do that, and it's so or I don't want to say cool, but easy to do that
Barbershop
in conversation.
talk. Anyway, anyway, the man gonna be a shortage. Yeah, all you gotta do is say, yeah, man, I heard too. You just agreed with that.
And sometimes you be, yeah, bro, gotta get what I gotta get, and y'all, and sometimes it's done in laughter and in fun.
That's the power of agreement, right there.
So what about the people who don't understand the power that they have?
It still works.
It still works.
So how do we get the people who, if they don't understand?
And what happens is they'll wherever their words say, that's what they'll be inside of. So if the people don't know about the power of words and they just start saying shortage, then shortage comes on them, and that's how they begin to trust the expert. It's because when the expert says something and they agree with the expert, they're inside of what the expert says.
So how would you say to get them to understand what they...
teach them.
You got to teach them the power of words.
Yep.
That life and death is in their words.
And we got to get in the mainstream and do it. We can't just be in the four walls of the church and expect it to be out everywhere. We got to get you on social media and you talking and you teaching other people. That's how it happens. We got to get in the mainstream and say the truth so they can agree with that.
Because a lot of people say like different things. I'm like maybe word it a different way, maybe say it, maybe not say that. But then they like, okay, so like, but why? Like,
they don't know.
Yeah. So okay.
And a lot of times people just agree with what they hear.
That's it.
And people can say something strange and people just agree with it.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a whole bunch of people that agree already.
Yeah,
that's what makes it
there's
easier.
been a meat shortage. Meat.
I don't believe that.
Meat.
Plus, man, and we gotta understand, man. Like the U.S., it seems like the U.S. lie about everything anyway. Like they just sent the Ukraine $30 million, and then they sent them another like $1 million. So it's like with all this money transfer and what side people on, like back in the day, somebody worked for the military and they told me what was going on really wasn't going on back then. And there was a war going on back then. So we always being lied to. So it's like with cows, man, like you said, the heat, these cows be in the heat every year. Yeah. So what's the difference?
And again, why
I
is it
just think
cows?
it's words.
Why ain't the birds?
I think that is a direct, effect on just words alone. I think words actually killed them. Like it's like you gave power to shortage, so something in the food chain had to get cut off because you said so.
Yeah,
that's your declaration. So the thing is our words. Pay attention to what words. Like I'm saying, the whole thing with COVID. I sat there and watched every day. COVID, it's gonna spike. It's spike, and it just kept going up. It just kept going up. Numbers kept going up. And remember, back in February, we did a show how 1 year later, it was the cases in Georgia had doubled in COVID, and everybody had vaccines. The vaccinations were doubled, but the case was doubled. And I'm like, okay, it's not it's your words, people. Like it's not the vaccine, it's your words. You keep saying, you keep talking, you keep giving life. And the moment the war showed up, the moment other things started happening, and
people started ignoring it too.
Right.
People started ignoring it,
and they got tired. They were tired of what they had to do to make it happen.
Some of the social unrest, the marches and all of the stuff that was happening in between, where people were just out being amongst each other and started to realize I'm still okay. Like I'm not sick. I've been in a parade for 8 hours or marching, yelling and I'm still okay. So people start to have their own confidence to say, man, whatever, I'm not gonna get sick.
And when we say it doesn't apply to me,
right? And when they start feeling like that, less people start doing masks. So less people start, doing the protocol or whatever, the 6 feet apart, and it just started.
The protocol kept getting shorter as far as the days,
it's just because people just stop.
Just making up
believing it.
Yeah.
They stopped believing it and they stopped confessing it.
And the words did everything.
And I used to go, and this is I used to go to places and just see the types of people that had on masks and the types of people that did not. Like you could be in a store and you could go down the aisle and you could see the type of people that got the mask on and the types of people that do not have a mask on. And I was like, is it something that they know that I don't know? Because it was a type of person that never wore masks.
What type of person was that?
It was just types of people.
Man,
it was just types of
No,
people.
it was just types of people.
What types of people?
You know,
just types of people.
Just types of people.
Are we types of people?
Huh?
Oh, we're types of people.
Are we types of people?
We were types of people that
we
wore
those types
masks.
of people?
No, we weren't those types.
But then even with that mask, man, like this is a virus, a disease. I never understood that mask because when you go into a mine, you breathing in gases. They have a certain mask you got to put on. The other people hazmat, they had a certain type of mask they put on. So you telling me this little cotton mask that we wearing gonna keep out diseases and viruses? Nah, I'm not that stupid. I'm sorry.
Well, to me,
I mean that don't make no sense to me because you're still breathing in what you say you're not breathing in. That mask is not gonna black nothing.
I was like, I smell.
No, the plastic thing that they used to wear as glasses. I'm like, what is that?
And what you breathing in gonna go right around that plastic. So it's like, come on, man.
right. It's a big opening right up there.
That don't make no sense.
It's all words, man. It's all words.
What?
You get a little windshield wiper for the plastic.
It's not mass. It's words, man.
But we declared that even in our night prayers when we was at the other location.
Yeah.
Like, we was already praying before it even hit, so we was already covered.
And the Lord was telling me something was coming, but we're protected from it.
Is that right?
Yep.
And they actually declared a pandemic was coming before it came. That's the trip part about
They
it.
still claim a pandemic coming. I just saw something else. They said another one coming.
Well,
it still ain't gonna come.
The decree never changes.
Yeah.
And I think what that made me do is just pay attention to media more and how when news shows up, it shifts the content and the talking points of the people.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the war made everybody start talking about the war and they stopped talking about COVID.
Right. And
then January 6th, the whole, White House thing, then they started talking politics. And all the different stuff took it away from, I'm like, man, all the talk about COVID died down and then COVID just started dying down.
Nobody at January 6th had a mask on.
Exactly. Don't say it.
Types of people.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Types of people.
No.
Yeah.
We're not saying types of people.
I just said types of people.
We're not talking about types of people. No.
But even with the things like you said that we've decreed, and it is documented. Y'all can go back and watch the show.
Facts,
It's still up.
right.
It's not taken down. We decreed against laws.
We did.
We decreed against laws. We decreed against
the swimming,
the
person.
transgender.
They would make that fair for the women sports. They changed that ruling. We made a declaration on this show. It's still up about what was the other one we declared? It was another one we declared. It came out this week.
The gun laws.
No,
Well,
with the gun law.
Did we say something about the gun law?
They changed
Yeah,
gun
to
laws.
reverse it.
Yeah, I think they reversed
the
that too.
abortion.
We did say
We
something
decreed
about that. Yes.
over
We did.
abortion.
Yes, we did.
And that ruling came down.
Yeah. That's right.
And it has nothing to do with, like we said, what you want to do with your body or whatever, but it has everything to do with preserving life.
Yeah.
I saw I posted on Facebook a picture of a female pregnant and wrote on her stomach, her pregnant belly, put shirt up, and said, "This is not a human yet."
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I'm like, okay, what
They
do you
were
feed
twerking
when you eat a
outside.
giraffe?
I know, right?
Like that's a human
disrespectful.
being on the inside of you. It's breathing.
She was
it's living.
pregnant, like
It's
6
eating.
months pregnant.
It's
She was.
eating the food that you eat. It's kicking. I
You're
know you
feeding
feel
it,
the
yeah.
kicking. If it's kicking, that means it's moving. If it's kicking, that means it already has muscles to kick. That's a human being on the inside of you. So it's not a thing of what you want to do necessarily. It's your body, but it's their life, and they don't have a say so in the matter.
Right.
So our stance was
They don't want to say it's murder. Like it's
yeah.
They don't want to. They don't want to say the M word.
Yeah.
No.
It is.
And
It's
the only
murder.
way they do it is they got to say that, okay, this is not human yet. And
Right.
that's the way you get out of calling it murder.
Yeah.
No, it is a human and it is alive. It's just alive on the inside of you. It's growing to a certain state or level where it's able to come outside.
If you believe that cells and bacteria in your body are alive,
Man, come on.
how in the world
Yeah.
Something with
Right.
feet
Do you
kicking
not
in your
believe-
ribs,
Yeah.
And you can't get no sleep.
and you can't get no sleep.
Not
Yeah.
1
But
ounce
like I
of
said,
sleep.
like when I just every time we talk about
all the
this
blame.
Roe versus Wade stuff, I always think about Pharaoh. and how he was trying to kill all the male babies.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't consider that life. Like, and he just wanted to kill all the males because basically he knew something was coming. And Moses came. You know what I mean? It took, I don't know how many ever years for it to happen, but it happened. You know what I mean? Like, when you talk about killing a life, like, if that, especially a woman, like, I understand, like, y'all, is rapes happen and incest, but when that baby is inside your stomach, like, don't you feel something? Like, that's a whole life inside your stomach. Like, you can't tell me that you're
to me personally,
evil that you can't feel that.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not against it, across the board in certain situations, like health situations. Sometimes, the woman's
Her life is at stake.
Her life is at stake. Me, I would declare, because I had that situation with my wife and everything worked out. Now, they may not have the faith to do that, but it's just that when we decree something on this stage, on this platform, and it gives the people a chance to see, okay, how words work and how the prayers of the righteous availeth much, and because our words never change. And even at the beginning of the pandemic, we decreed that we're not participating in it, and our words never changed.
Right.
And we're been outside of the pandemic, even though it's right there in the room with us. It's right there in our face. And my test was to not get God told me don't get a vaccine. Now, that's not your test. I'm not saying that, it's not ungodly to do whatever God said, okay, do you trust me or do you trust the chemical? At the beginning of the pandemic, he told me that. And so that was my test, and I said, I trust you. He said, okay, well then, trust me. And we end up, my whole family end up not getting it, and it never touched us, even though it broke out in my son's classroom twice, my daughter's dance school twice, the girl that had COVID was right in my wife's face without a mask. She didn't get it. I was right in my son's coach face, signing his paperwork to sign him up this close to him. He got COVID pneumonia. He didn't know it. I didn't have a mask on. I left it in the car.
What's COVID pneumonia? That's a different level of COVID?
It's where COVID takes you into, like, pneumonia. And he had, like, 65% of his lungs, and he was in the ICU and all this stuff.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. He didn't know he had COVID. But what I'm saying is the words... they have power, but you can't change your words ever. I never said COVID was contagious.
Right.
Even if they say it is, even if there's scientific fact that there is, I'm not going to say it, because then I'm inside of that contagious dominion. And I'm staying outside of it, because that's the model of the kingdom.
And a lot of people believe in science, and it's not that we're naive and don't believe in science. It's just we believe
the person that made science.
Like science is
the word trumps it.
Is right. And science is the study of something natural that's happening, which is God.
Right.
It's the study of something they did not create.
You're not creating something. You're studying something that has been created.
Yeah.
So all science is the study of God. It's like one step behind what God is already doing or God has already done. So I just go to the creator.
Source.
It's the study versus the all-knowing.
Right.
It's like, okay, which one are you listening to?
Yeah.
Okay, well then give me the all-knowing. Okay, what do you say? Okay, do this. Okay, now follow that. And then I'm outside of what the fact can do.
Yep. Science is like the middleman.
And
why go to the middleman? Go straight to the source.
So if a doctor makes a decree based off what he's studying,
which we're not against doctors. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm never against
doctors.
If he says something that's happening in a body and we don't agree with it, it's not that he's wrong. It's just that what you see is about to change.
Healing. Yes.
Right.
I'm in agreement with healing.
Okay, sir, what you see is about to change. I believe that what you see what you see.
Yeah.
But you're going to see something different.
Yeah.
I do not have, because you could decree on me a sickness.
Yes, yeah.
Or
admit the sickness that you see.
Right.
And you locking me outside of healing.
Right.
I need to be inside of the realm of miracle signs and wonders. And what cannot be inside of that is the decree against it.
Right.
So, okay, what do you see?
So
I see this.
So if you say you see based off of your
studies, and
you see cancer, you may not see the healing of that.
Yeah.
Based off your study.
Yeah.
You go based off percentages, and your percentage, this is why they call it a practice, because you can't really, sometimes everything is subject to change based off of the study. So if a doctor makes a decree of what they see in you, that's not it. It's just what they see at the time. All right? You still can go on the side of healing to make a decree to say, hey, I feel like I'm healed. God is telling me to do this. He's telling me to take this. He's telling me to change this. Some people have to forgive.
Yep.
Some people have to repent.
Yep.
There's a spiritual part to a lot of sicknesses and disease that a lot of people don't tap into, and that's the creator part. God is a spirit, you know, and so we must worship him, you know, in spirit and in truth. You got to understand the spiritual part of most sicknesses. And so a lot of people don't understand that a lot of sicknesses are hooked up to spiritual things. Yeah. And so most of it is not a medicine that you need to take. It's forgiveness that you need to do. It's repentance. You know, you need to ask a person for forgiveness. You might ask God, but your wife or your husband or your child or your coworker or your business partner or whatever, you might need to ask forgiveness from them. And so sometimes that stuff is hooked up to that. And a lot of people don't understand that. So they take the decree, and sometimes people take decrees from guilt. And they agree with the doctor because, and in their mind, they go to a place of, you know what, I deserve this because of what I did wrong, and this is why God is getting me. And a lot of people secretly die without saying anything or without, you know, just coming out and repenting or whatever, because embarrassment, because of pride. I know a lot of people died in pride. Like, you know what, I never forgive this person, or I never let this go. I'd rather die. And so a lot of, but things can change. So anything a doctor say can change. You know, anything a doctor decrees can change. Anything you decree, you can change what you say. You know, positive or negative. If you say, man, the doctor say I'm sick and I'm gonna die, and all of that gets out, you can say, no, this is what I'm gonna live and not die, and this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take this. God is telling me to do this. He's telling me to do that. And so it's important that people be hooked up to God spiritually on you know, when you're dealing with any. Matter of fact, you need to be hooked up to God spiritually. You need to pray without ceasing. You need to have a relationship with God so that you don't go to him only when you're sick, only when you're broke, only when you're stressed out, but you have a constant communication with God, that he has a tailor-made relationship for you. And when I got sick, I listened to God every single day. One thing, my decree was I don't get sick. My decree was I don't get sick. And God started telling me to take vitamin C out of the blue. He just say, take vitamin C, high doses of vitamin C. Why? You'll find out. Just take high doses of vitamin C. So I started reading this book. I don't want to say what the book is because it's a great book, but it was a book about healing. And I started to have more confidence in the book I was reading instead of what God told me. And I got sick. I got ill. And the Lord said, because not because of the information that was good that you got, and it was based off the word. So this is what wasn't a secular book. This was a book based in the word. He was just like, that's not what I told you to do. And as soon as I got back to doing what God told me to do, I was healed. And so sometimes that's just
good knowledge.
Good knowledge.
Good knowledge.
The knowledge of good and evil. It was good knowledge. It was great knowledge. It was good, but it wasn't what God told me to do. And so when God told me to do specifically what I was supposed to do, I don't get sick. And it's
just like your parent. Like if I tell my son don't do this, and then he go do it anyway.
Your son right there.
See, I told one of them. Hit the bell, man.
Go ahead, son.
Nah, but if I tell him not to do something,
my grandson.
Go. Both of us got mics today. Let's go. But if I tell Jeremiah not to do something, like all the time, just like the kid, I tell him not to do something, he'll do it anyway. But it's like you. I tell him all the time, I'm trying to save you from consequences. But if you do what you want to do, then those consequences are gonna come. You, God told you what to do, but you denied what he said.
Right.
You denied what your father said. So if you deny what your father said, he said, okay, I'm gonna let you know for yourself. I got you. Go ahead and go through this sickness. And as soon as you start to listen to him again, it cleared up. So if people would take that on and just man, follow God. Like everybody up here believe in God. Y'all gotta follow God, man. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but it would be in your best interest to do that because he got your best interest at heart.
And it's not even that God is doing it to you. It's something that you turn on.
You turn on.
So it's already in place.
Exactly.
So you said, I'm not going to do what you said, God. I'm going to turn this thing on, which is consequence.
Because you want to live your own way.
Right.
And it's like, you can't do that.
Follow God.
Yeah, and make sure in this climate of where the world is, make sure that you speak the oracles of God. Speak like heaven, so that heaven can manifest.
Fact.
Heaven can't manifest in words that are a foreign language to heaven.
Yeah.
Right.
Heaven does not speak the language of sickness. It's
Fear,
a foreign language. It comes through fear. So if there is, you see a sickness with your eyes, don't walk by sight, you walk by faith, so that you can stay inside of the realm that heaven, a heavenly reality that heaven wants you to stay in at all times.
Stop listening to everybody else, because it ain't about they. Get into the presence of God and do what he tell you to do. Like, it ain't about they and them. It's about you and God.
Yeah. So definitely watch your words at this time. You know what I'm saying?
Amen, amen, amen.
That's not a word, so yeah.
Amen, amen, amen.
I don't know what that is.
That's not a word, yeah.
Huh? Movie club.
All right, man.
Hey, Mom.
Wait, hold on. Before we move on, God told me to say. Also, the words that you say, don't put yourself in an environment that'll make you go against what you said. So if you say something, you speaking it, but you putting yourself in something that's gonna make you say against what you've already been saying, why do that? You trap yourself. So
That's good.
Put yourself in a good environment so that you can keep speaking what God told you to
Let
say.
them know, little sis. Let them know.
Amen, amen,
Okay. What's the game we playing? All right, please. Hey, man, don't have a
We're
DM.
doing movie cluster. We're going to give you a cluster of movies.
Here we go.
Oh, pictures. I'm sorry.
Pictures?
Pictures, yeah. It's going to be a cluster of pictures of an actor in different scenes of different movies.
Okay.
And you got to guess the movie of the
Okay.
picture.
The movie or the picture?
Yeah, so it's going to be one actor
Let go.
with 9 different scenes in different movies. You got to
Oh,
guess what
jeez.
movie that's.
This
that
gonna be a
scene is
bunch of
in.
old movies.
It is. It absolutely is.
Look, we don't need you on the show.
You're not going to know any of these movies.
Okay.
You gotta watch.
Yeah.
You gotta watch USA for these,
All
baby.
right.
TBS.
You gotta watch TNT
She's
on
like,
a Friday night for these.
AMC.
I thought I was gonna win.
These ain't just came out on Netflix. You know what I'm saying?
All right, here we go.
All right. You ready, Letter? You got your?
What?
Okay. We're gonna go.
Huh?
Why?
That's like
Samuel Jackson.
Oh,
That's Lakeview
alright,
Terrace.
favorite.
What is not Star Wars, but the other one.
Let's start with
Star Wars
Is it?
too.
Okay, Die Hard.
yeah, that's Dog is 3.
The Matrix.
I don't know what
Is that
number
the
4 is.
number 4. No.
Number 5 is
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. Number 6 is
Soul Man. Number 4, Soul Man.
number 6
5
is
That look like the Matrix.
I can't even
I don't
see
know
that.
what that is.
Facebook,
Number 9 is Django.
YouTube, help him out.
number 9
That's not
Django.
Number
Se-
6?
Number 9.
Number 9 Django.
Number 6. I don't know what
Number 6 is
Oh, that's Shaft. Number 6, Shaft.
Shaft. Number 7 is Marvel something.
Marvel.
Avengers, yeah.
The Avengers and
8
number 8.
is
Number 8 is
Bodyguards.
Hitman bodyguard
Yeah.
wife. Husband.
Yay.
Husband, wife, husband,
Yeah,
cousin.
easy.
Yeah, that's it.
We
yeah, we got them.
won.
We got them.
We won, really?
Right.
Which one you got? Did you know
We won.
Yeah, I knew all of them.
Yeah, Star Wars is not old. That Star Wars is not old.
I don't watch Star
Man,
Wars.
I haven't
Avengers?
watched
I
one
don't
Star
watch
Wars.
Avengers.
You don't watch Avengers?
Not for real.
I haven't watched one Star
You're not missing
Wars.
anything.
Really? No?
I don't know
Pulp
none of
Fiction
them.
not that old.
I don't know any of them.
Yeah.
Fiction. Old, bro.
Pulp Fiction it's not like
It's not
older than
ancient.
her.
Bro, she was born in
Man, that's
2004.
old.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
That's 90,
5?
maybe 90.
We barely
yeah,
had
90.
cell phones. Come on, go to the next
Pulp
one.
Fiction.
Oh gosh.
Probably
Probably earlier than that.
Older than that, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was like 99, 2000.
That was
All right.
such a fun game.
I think in 1994. Yep. Pulp
Yep.
Fiction came out in
That was
94.
Yeah.
Next one.
Okay, I got
What's
this one.
another one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Eddie Murphy.
never mind.
Let me see if Luck can guess one of these.
I don't know any of those.
Can you guess one of them?
I don't know
I
any.
know number one.
Number three.
Number two. Number two is
Number
Boomerang.
Number 2 is Boomerang?
Because
Yeah.
your daddy just told you your ear.
Oh, wow. Y'all cheating over there.
Number one is when he
She went
played
to the phone.
Rudy
You got
Ray
it
Moore and
right.
Dolomite.
Yeah.
So that Dolomite,
Okay.
Boomerang, Bowfinger,
Life.
Life, Coming to America, 48 Hours, Norbit, The Golden
48 Hours
Child,
part-
and Beverly Hills
part
Cop.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
We
good.
got it. Yeah, we won.
What was number 3?
Movie buff.
Norbit.
Bowfinger.
Norbit.
Okay.
Number 3 is Bowfinger. Number
Bowfinger.
Norbit is number 7.
What does that even mean?
Nothing.
Y'all got some
Bowfinger.
good eyes.
I don't even know why that movie is even
I never
up there.
watched Bowfinger. I ain't want to watch.
Ew.
Well,
Yay! That was so fun.
Yay, only
That
had
was the
two.
best game ever.
That was
Praise God.
good job, Lovey.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep Kyler from making the
Good job,
game.
Lovey.
That right?
Maybe you're loving to make that game next time.
Hey, man, make sure y'all like and share.
Thanks.
Like and share.
In the booth.
Facebook. Right now.
Hey, if y'all want us to declare anything, email us. Now we gotta agree with it, but we will declare some things. You can email us. Yeah. Your finger in my face.
In Messenger on In the Booth Podcast.
I could have did that for you.
Yeah.
If y'all are still watching, if y'all want to follow me on Instagram. Oh, never mind.
All right. You got another